What's going on, Jays fans? We are here, as you all know, for the weekly kind of spring training update for the Toronto Blue Jays. And a rough start to the week, wins and losses wise for the Blue Jays, but they ended the week very, very strong. When I say week, I mean last Tuesday to this Tuesday. But you know what? Lots of great performances all around. I got every note written down. There's going to be a few performances that I miss, and as you guys know, you're like, well, you got a chain going on, it's medical alert thing. I think it looks pretty spiffy if you ask me. But anyways, let's break this thing down. Let's go all the way back to last Wednesday. All right, 6 days ago, where the Jays took on the Yankees and lost that game 4-1. And that was the same day that I got to talk to Devin Travis on the Blue Jays Center Instagram Live. If you didn't check that out, guys, go check it out on the Blue Jays Center IGTV. It is up on there. Had a great chat with former Blue Jay Devin Travis and a couple weeks prior, Alek Manoah. Go check that out, guys, on IGTV. But on that day, on that Wednesday, we saw some young performances from the Toronto Blue Jays, and that's really all the numbers I have written down because there was really no offense for the Blue Jays. But in that game, you saw a youngin' Simeon Woods Richardson go out there in his first outing as a Toronto Blue Jay in spring training, and I think he looked fantastic. You know, it went 2 solid innings, didn't allow a hit, walked 1, and struck out a guy. He worked really quick to Giancarlo Stanton, I think it was, and just a heck of a job. I think his 1 strikeout might have actually been Stanton. So a hell of a job for the young 20-year-old, if I'm not mistaken, 20-year-old right-hander Simeon Woods Richardson, maybe 21 at this point, but either way, he's still young as hell. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Alek Manoah got his first outing as a Toronto Blue Jay in spring training format and was unbelievable. I mean, I've been high on this guy right from draft day, and then through the rest of that season where I was continuously talking about young players and draft picks, I was constantly keeping an eye on Manoah there down in Vancouver. And what a job he did in his first outing out there, guys. 2 innings, 1 hit, didn't allow a run, didn't walk a guy, and struck out 4. But get this, he struck out Judge, he struck out Stanton, he struck out Gleyber Torres, and I know there was one more and I can't remember who it was, but he struck out the big Yankees, and he was throwing straight gas, 99, he was throwing 96, got that wicked slider. Man, Manoah, I'm telling you, I'm not just a fan because I had a chance to talk to the guy, and a really nice guy at that. The guy's stuff is fantastic. Those 2 young guys in Woods Richardson and Alek Manoah, clearly they're building them up like starting pitchers because they both went 2 innings in their first outing. So a great job by them. Unfortunately, the Blue Jays lost that first game, but in spring training, it doesn't matter. It's all about individual performances and how is everybody feeling and getting the feel for these young players. And in that game, you got that feel. In the next game, it wasn't very pretty, I gotta say. Thursday, March 4th against the Detroit Tigers, Jays lost that one 8-2. Not very many good performances. However, Forrest Wall had a good day. He went 2 for 2 and scored a run. Blue Jays traded for him in the Sungwon Oh trade a couple years back now. So, again, making someone worth it. Maybe Wall can be that extra outfielder down in the minor leagues. He gets called up and sent down. Maybe he'll be that guy this season. We'll have to see, but a good start to his spring there. And TJ Zoik got the start in the game, and he was pretty solid for the most part. 2 innings, 2 hits, didn't allow a run, walked 1, didn't strike out a batter, but overall was pretty solid in his 2 innings of work. So a great job by TJ Zoik, who really hasn't struggled at the big league level. Can we all kind of go through that, right? TJ Zoik has never really struggled. Has he had rough games? Yes, but he's never full-on struggled for 3 or 4 starts and has really not found his way. Right, when he was up here, when he got his first chance to play in the big leagues, he wasn't bad. Right, he wasn't bad at all. And last year he had a few outings, and he really wasn't bad at all. And in his first spring training outing, he went 2 solid innings. So people are sleeping on TJ Zoik, but hey, got to keep an eye on the kid. He's doing a really good job. Now, let's get to some fun things. After those 2 losses there, the Jays are not playing the greatest, not scoring many runs, really only 3 runs in those 2 games there, and allowed 12. So not a very good job all around by the Blue Jays in those 2 games, but man, did they bounce back. Friday, March 5th against the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, everyone loves playing Baltimore, whether it's spring training or regular season. But the Blue Jays won that one 13-4, and some big, and I mean massive, offensive performance. Riley Adams, can't be sleeping on this guy. He's a catcher in the system. Obviously, everyone's talking about Kirk and Danny Jansen and Reese McGuire, and some people are talking about Gabriel Moreno, the young catcher down in the minors. But you cannot forget Riley Adams, who went out there in that game against Baltimore and crushed a bomb. He went 1 for 1 in the game, had the home run, so a great job for Riley Adams. Teoscar Hernandez, great to see him back out there. He went 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored and a walk, so a good job for Teo out there in that spring training outing against Baltimore. And the player of the game, Joshua Palacios, who, again, no one's talking about, kind of that, a little bit of an older prospect, but in that, he was in AAA, if I'm not mistaken, last year, and really not turning any heads, but man, did he put a game together. 3 for 3, 2 runs scored, he had 5 RBIs, and crushed, if I'm not mistaken, it was a 3-run bomb. What a game for Joshua Palacios. Heck of a job for him, and he's had a great start to his spring training this year. Good job for him. And Danny Jansen, a guy who offensively, obviously the first 2 full seasons for Danny Jansen, he really has struggled with the bat. He came up there in that kind of like half year, the first time he came up, and was all right. Showed that he was a great defender, and he's still shown us that, even though defensive stats were a little lower last year than the year prior when he was nominated for a Gold Glove behind the dish. But still a solid catcher at that behind the dish last season. You know what you're going to get from him every night behind the plate. Offensively, we haven't really seen a whole lot of Danny Jansen. Hard contact's not been there. He's got a good eye at the plate, but at some point, you gotta start making contact with things and making solid contact at that. And in that game, it was a great job for him against Baltimore. 2 for 3 with a run scored, 2 RBIs, and had a home run. So a good job for DJ going out there and doing a job out there. All right? Now let's get to the pitching side of things, because you did score 13 runs, but you only allowed 4, so good job there overall. Hyunjin Ryu gave up 1 hit. It was a solo home run over 2 innings of work. But again, it's his first outing out there. That's okay for Hyunjin Ryu. That's not bad at all for him. All right? David Phelps was out there. Good to see him back out there. 1 clean inning with a strikeout. So a good job for David Phelps. And Francisco Lariano gets out there and goes a clean inning, walks a batter, but that's about it. So good job for Francisco Lariano, who's probably going to be a huge part of this bullpen moving forward into the regular season. All right, let's get to March 6th, where they were 7-1 winners. It was on Sunday. Sunday? Was it Sunday again? No, so you see this was Saturday? I think it was Saturday against the Phillies, where the Jays won that one 7-1. And George Springer went 1 for 3 with the runs scored. Get used to that line, people. Get used to that 1 for 3 or 2 for 4 with a run scored. Because when he's getting on base and you have guys like Bo, Vladdy, Gurriel, Teoscar Hernandez, all behind him, and he's getting on base at the top of the shot, that's where I think he should stay, no doubt. And that's where they're starting him in the spring, at least. Don't expect him to score a lot of runs this season. So 1 for 3 with a run scored for Springer. Good job. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. went 1 for 1 in that game and also walked 1. So a good job for Vladdy going out there and starting to find his way a little bit. So a good job there. And look, my hopes for Tanner Roark this season are very low. They're very low. If he performs and exceeds expectations, great. But I'm not holding my breath. However, first spring training outing for Tanner Roark was really good. He went 2 innings, 1 hit, didn't walk a batter, didn't give up any hits. 1 hit, didn't allow any runs or walks, and he got a strikeout. So a good job for Tanner Roark. I've not been able to say that very often. Tyler Chatwood was out there, and he's been kind of clean over the first few outings for him. He's been really solid. He went a clean inning of work, had a strikeout. Good job for Tyler Chatwood. AJ Cole, clean inning, nothing across the board, no hits, no walks, no strikeouts, no runs given up. Good job for AJ Cole. And Tim Meza, he's kind of that reclamation story we've all been talking about this offseason, or at least I've been thinking about this offseason, and obviously in the spring. Because we all know that injury he sustained a couple of years back and had Tommy John surgery. And coming back here, he went a clean inning of work, no hits, no walks, no runs, and 2 strikeouts. So a good job for Tim Meza. Again, him and Lariano out of the pen could be a really nice, because the Jays have gotten so used to in the past being so right-handed heavy out of the bullpen and really not having that lefty. Yes, they had Anthony Kay and Ryan Barucki last season who were great, but I'm not even counting last year because, look, there was only, 62 games or 61 games, whatever the heck it was last season. I don't bank on that, right? Give me 162, then I'll be okay. When I think of left-handed relievers for the Blue Jays, I don't really think of much. A sustainable righty. When you think of right-handed relievers, well, you had Ken Giles, you had Roberto Osuna back in the day, you had all these big-name relievers. They're all right-handed. When you think of Jays lefties, you get Aaron Loop, right? That's our first mindset is Aaron Loop, and that's not where you want your mind to go. But having a Lariano back there and bringing Tim Meza back, you could have two guys from the left side that can get you strikeouts and can give you clean innings. From the left, it's so important to have a solid lefty out of the pen. And the Jays had that with Kay and Baraki last year. You saw the success they had. And you bring in a guy like Tim Mays and bring in a guy like Lariano, that's huge. And you could even still have Anthony Kay and Ryan Baraki out of the pen, or you could put those guys in AAA. I can't see Baraki going down to AAA, though, at this point in his career. He's been up here too long to kind of say, go down there, we don't have too many guys. No. I don't even know if he has options. I'm assuming he does, but I don't see the point in that. Anthony Kay, maybe, but again, I can't see either guy going down. That'd be weird, though. There's 4 lefties coming out of the bullpen. I don't see that happening, especially since Buffalo isn't going to be starting for at least the first month of the year. So you might have all 4 lefties on the staff. We'll have to see. But a great job overall in that game. Your offense was booming. You scored 7 runs with your big lineup. You only allowed the 1 run. Your pitching staff was great. And now, you've got back-to-back W's. So good job there. They go out there on, Sunday against Detroit, and they lose that game 5-1. And no offense. 2 hits in the game, and Kevin Smith had 1, and Marcus Semien had the other. He was 1 for 1, and he walked once as well. So a good job for Marcus Semien going out there in his couple plate appearances that he had. And Robbie Ray out there for, I think it's the second time this spring. He went 2 1/3, 1 hit, allowed a run. I think it was a home run. I could be wrong though. He walked 2 guys, so again, that's something we don't like to see. However, in 2 1/3, he had 6 strikeouts. You guys can do the math. He only had 1 other out that was not a strikeout. The rest were just Ks. So Robbie Ray, we all know the strikeout stuff is there. If he can throw strikes, man oh man, he can be good. But that's the question heading into the 2021 year for Robbie Ray. And it's going to be 162 games. So what are we going to see from Robbie Ray this year? He looks like he might be that number 2 starter to start the season with Nate Pearson kind of being on the shelf right now. So what's Robbie Ray going to give us, guys? I have absolutely no idea. And that's a quick one for that because the Jays only had 2 hits. That was really the only good pitching outing in the game. And let's move on to today's ball game, where it was a much, much better one for the Toronto Blue Jays. And look, I could go through so many other numbers, right? I can go through, I think it was the 7-1 win, or was it the, I don't know. I know Cullen Large had a 3-run shot at some point. Everyone's like, who the heck's this guy? A guy that I think he played in Double-A. Again, 3-run bomb in spring training does not go unlooked. So a good job for Cullen Large. I know some other guys have had big hits. Again, I can't write everything down. I have 3 sticky notes here. I only have 1.5, 2 for a game. So 3 is kind of all over the place for me right now. Let's get to today's ball game, where it was somewhat televised, because if you watched it on MLB, I had MLB at bat, and it was able to give me a stream for it, so that was pretty cool, but it was a weird one. All you got is the home plate screen, the screen of the entire field, and no audio. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. It was really odd, but you were able to somewhat watch Blue Jay baseball. And in that game, they won 4-1 over the Philadelphia Phillies. So overall, a pretty good day for the Blue Jays. And more or less offensively, wasn't the greatest of days for the Blue Jays. Yeah, they scored 4 runs, no doubt. And there were some good things going on in the early goings of the game. I think Bichette had a hit. I think Vladdy had a hit as well. The main guys got good pieces today, but the main key for me is the pitching staff. And I think for Blue Jay fans going into the spring training, we're not really looking at our offense. You're not looking at a George Springer. Maybe looking at George Springer as like, oh, we have him, but we're not really worried about the guy. Same with Bo Bichette and Vladdy and guys like that. Spring training is not really about them. For us Jays fans in this spring training, it's about the pitching staff and the young guys. That's what I'm looking at, right? And those are the guys that I want to see. I know Logan Warmoth had a hit today, and man, oh man, what a spring training this kid's put together. And could this be the breakout time for Logan Warmoth? It might be. This guy's been struggling offensively. Former Jay first-round pick way back in the Pearson draft, actually. The Jays had 2 first-round picks. Logan Warmoth was the first pick. I think it was like 12th over, something along those lines, maybe 15th, I don't know, in there somewhere. And Pearson was in the 20s. Right? So Logan Warmoth's kind of been struggling offensively through his minor league career, but this spring training, man, oh man, is he hitting the ball extremely well. So a good job for Logan Warmoth getting a hit today. I know that I saw that for sure. Let's get to the pitching staff, because that's where the key is. Steven Matz, in his first outing, he went 2 scoreless innings. Today, he went 3 scoreless innings, allowed 1 hit, didn't walk a batter, and struck out 3. Really good start to his spring training for Steven Matz. Obviously, spring training is a different beast. You could not give up a run the entire spring training, then give up a run in your first inning in the regular season, and then those whole spring training numbers go out the window. I get that. But this is all about feel for him. He's never played anywhere other than the New York Mets. He's come to a new organization. You're staying in Dunedin. It's a whole different situation, right? And he's gone out there in his first 5 innings as a Toronto Blue Jay in spring training and done nothing but good things. So that's a great job for Steven Matz early on in his Jays tenure. We have Tyler Chatwood, who I mentioned earlier, has had a great spring so far, and he continues that today with an inning. No hits, no walks, no runs, and had a strikeout. So a great job by Tyler Chatwood. Lariano, once again, doing another great thing today. 1 inning, no hits, no walks, no runs, and a strikeout. So a good job for Francisco Lariano. Rafael Dolis, who had a slow start to his spring in his first outing or two. I can't remember how many he's had, but a really good one out there today. 1 inning, no hits, no walks, no runs, and a strikeout. Good job for him. And David Phelps, who again, I said it on the Jays Banner podcast this last week we did. And if you guys didn't check that out, go check it out on your favorite podcast app, iTunes, all that great stuff, guys. The link is in the bio of Blue Jays Center, so go check that out. We were actually joined by Braden, who's everything Blue Jays on Instagram. So guys, go check out all that stuff. We talked about everything in breakout candidates and all that stuff in the bullpen. It was a great thing. We talk about everything Toronto Blue Jays, and we talked about, I mentioned how David Phelps, you cannot sleep on this guy, because his tenure with the Blue Jays he had a couple of years ago, as it was short-lived as it was, he was great, right? He was out there today, again, 1 inning, no hits, no walks, no runs, and a couple strikeouts. So a good job for David Phelps. And Jordan Romano, who's kind of had a slow start to the spring for him, but 1 inning, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, but he struck out the side. And that's more like Jordan Romano, blowing guys away with the high heater. And the Blue Jays win it 4-1. So if you want to do the math and see how many games the Jays won, they were what, 3 and 3? Yeah, I think it was 3 and 3. They lost the first 2, 1 and 2. You guys know I'm terrible at math. 0 and 2, 1 and 2, 2 and 2, 2 and 3. 3 and 3. Look at that. They were 500, 3 and 3 on the week, but after a rough start to the week, they really bounced back 3 wins in their last 4 games. If you want to look at it that way for the Blue Jays. But overall, some really good performances moving forward for the Blue Jays. And guys, like I've mentioned before, this type of video will be happening weekly until the season gets going for the Blue Jays. And then kind of, in the latter half of the spring, I'll be doing a season preview, and then we're right into the regular season, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and have enjoyed watching somewhat Blue Jay baseball, because it's not televised or even on the radio, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on all the games over the past week, any other things that I did not mention in today's video that you wanted to bring up regarding certain Blue Jays plays over the last week. Let me know in the comments below. Twitter is down below for myself. Follow, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram page is down below, so follow up there if you have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition Thursday, as they are finally back in action. It feels like forever as they take on the Atlanta Hawks. Just looking to start the second half strong. Kyle Lowry put on Instagram basically denying all trade rumors, comments, and all that stuff. So is he gonna stay? I guess so, or at least for the time being. I think Kyle's staying with this team. But no matter what, they play Atlanta on Thursday in their first game back after All-Star weekend, which I'm not even going to comment on that. Next game for the Leafs is tonight against Winnipeg Jets, looking to bounce back after those 2 rough losses against Vancouver. They look to bounce back against the second-place team in the North Division, or is Edmonton second now? Either way, one of the top teams in the North Division, the Winnipeg Jets, who their last game, they got slaughtered 7-1 to the Montreal Canadiens. So, Leafs and Jets tonight. And as for the Blue Jays, guys, as I've mentioned before, I will talk to you guys next week. Same time, same place, talking same Blue Jays. All these spring training games over the course of the next week, from Wednesday from tomorrow until Tuesday. I'll talk about all those games on Tuesday, post-game Tuesday though, of course. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.